Am I the only one that instantly thinks about Silent Hill anytime there's any sort of mist or fog outside? Because this morning where I live, the fog is so thick that I would not be surprised if I heard the siren start going off. What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the latest Manager Keke video that was posted yesterday over on his official channel. If you would like a link to that video, link will be in the description, because in today's video, we're just going to go ahead and watch this and react to it and give our thoughts, because this one is actually going to be a bit on the shorter side. However, it is very important because it is going to be going over Deimos base, which at this point in the game is everybody's least favorite game mode, which is probably a giant relief to a certain spider robot because, well, he used to be the one that everybody hated so much and now he's just kind of a joke. But hey, you know, you'll live and you'll learn. But before we go ahead and get into all of that and more, make sure if you guys haven't already done so, you smash that like button and subscribe. And let's just go ahead and hop into the reaction. So we're going to go ahead and just play this. I'm going to take the volume and turn that down, but we'll have the subtitles. So we'll go ahead and watch this. Like I said, it's on the shorter side. However, it is going to pretty much all pertain to Deimos base. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So it's very interesting that we're getting kind of what seems to be almost like an emergency dev video from Manager Keke. But hey, it is what it is, right? I think that they did definitely need to go ahead and address this stuff. But they do address pretty much all of our concerns with Deimos base in here. But we'll kind of talk about it as we go. And he is going to be bringing in a friend as well here. So they do mention here at the beginning that they've gotten a lot of feedback, and the feedback for this thing, for those of you who haven't been on the forums or seen any of the videos that have been made by myself or my peers, yeah, that did not go over well the last time Deimos base was around. But we have Colonel Ralph here, who is going to be the one that does pretty much most of the gameplay testing and the balancing for a lot of these game modes, which, yeah, I can already see a lot of hate for this guy in the comments section without even having to check it, but he does talk about how he was the one in charge of planning and balancing Deimos base. Again, I can see a lot of hate coming his way in the comments section. Please try to be nice and respectful, because they definitely did not have to do this video for us. So let's just go ahead and see what he has to say about it, or for himself, rather, depending on how much you're going to hold a grudge against this poor man. I mean, how can you hold a grudge against Ralph? Look at him. Look at him. But anyway, so with this, they do address the fact that they did go in and rebalance with the latest Deimos base, and it did not go well at all, obviously. So if we take a look here, we do talk about the goal of having the players obtain buffs and clearing each stage. He talks about the fact that they wanted people to be able to play a lot of these characters that they built up over time and kind of go through their roster. But there were some hiccups and some issues. But old characters are often forgotten. He does have a good point there. So that is something that is a fair assessment. Just kind of comes down to there's better ways of trying to get us to use them. Like maybe, for instance, giving us more low-cost missions. Maybe giving us more missions where we can only use specific characters. That'd be nice. Maybe have missions or a game mode where we can only use like gold borders or things like that. That'd be kind of cool. Only regular fast. Use the cost measurement to kind of decide what we can use, that sort of thing. But what do I know? So the gameplay grind is something he mentions here, and I'm going to pause this real quick and maybe even back it up just a little bit. So when it comes to the first major point here, he does go ahead and accept the fact that this is not in the best state in Deimos base. For those of you who are not aware, they talk about it here, will not be returning this month because they are working on rebalancing it. So that's important as well. Other things that he is talking about here, though, is the fact that they did, of course, like I mentioned, want us to use a lot of these characters that we've built up over time. However, again, this was not a good way of doing that. He does admit that it was not in the best place, and that people want to be able to have fun with these game modes, and the Deimos base in its current state, he accepts the fact, just we're not having fun with it. And it was not fun. We made an entire video about the topic. I wasn't a fan. I think I got to like tier 16 or 17 and I just stopped playing it. I didn't find it entertaining or fun or enjoyable. I would rather be playing anything else, honestly. Not my cup of tea. Some people out there might enjoy it, and that's great, but definitely not me or the majority of people's thing from the sounds of it if they had to make an emergency dev video to go ahead and give us kind of their side of the story on it. So, but again, I've said this before, I'll say it again, Deimos Base has been released and has been in good places before. Stop messing with it. Just stop picking at it. It's going to get infected, right? That's been the joke, and unfortunately at this point, I think the sepsis has kicked in. Well, let's just continue. So again, emphasizing using a lot of fighters, but yeah, the grind just isn't worth it. And that's something I wish they would have addressed more in this video. Spoiler alert, they don't, is the rewards just aren't worth it. So it is unbalanced in their opinion, which is good. At least they admit that it's grossly imbalanced. The recovery decrease and the enhanced dot, those two things right there honestly just broke it. It really did. I don't understand why healing is such a non-factor in the majority of this game. Why we can't just be allowed to have it here and have it have a use. Because it gives so many characters uses. Because most of the time, I mean, Athena, Nakoruru, those types of strikers, you're really not going to see used much of anywhere else. Very rarely. There will be use cases elsewhere, but very, very sparse. I don't understand why we can't just have those here as something really nice to kind of get us through. I understand not wanting to have it to be too face roll and too cheesy, but at the same time, I do not understand just spiking them so hard that you can't even get anything out of them to the point where they're basically useless. I just don't get that. But what do I know? I'm not a dev. You're right, they did. Yep. They did raise the difficulty level, but they also just kind of made it not fun. The 8th floor was an issue for a lot of people, although honestly, guys, and you can let me know in the comment section down below, was the 8th floor an issue for you, or were you just bored by that? Like, by the time people got to the 8th floor and they saw just how much damage their characters were taking on that level, I think most people just go, I don't want to do this. Like, I think most people could have just pushed through it. I'm not saying that all those people could have finished Deimos Base, but I don't think that they just got to the 8th floor and they were just like, I can't beat this. I think for the most part, it was people just didn't want to do it after that. They were just like, no, I don't want to play this. Why would I want to put myself through this? If it's this hard at stage 8, why would I want to play up to stage 50, right? But at least that was kind of where I got for the first day or so. I was like, why do I even want to mess with this anymore? So they did do some internal data discovery and realized that most people stopped there. Interesting. So they applied the higher difficulty level to the lower levels. And they do talk right here, if we take a look, the rewards remain the same, which was a great disappointment. So this is kind of really the most that they're going to say about rewards. They don't really indicate that they're going to bring Deimos Base back with, you know, EX generic memories and all these things that we would all love. But they do at least acknowledge that the rewards did not equal out to the effort level needed to get through this thing. So hopefully the next Deimos Base ends up looking really, really good, because they do at least understand where we're all coming from on that. And it seems like this video in particular is very healthy, I think, because at least they understand and they do talk about and allude to at least the majority of our criticisms with Deimos Base, which is definitely good. It comes down to what they do going forward, though, because it has been in good places, but it's also been in terrible places. And we really just, you don't need to keep messing with it. Instead of putting all this time and effort into messing with Deimos Base from season to season, just move on to making something that's different. Like, make us more content instead of worrying about messing up Deimos Base. Please, just get it in a good state and leave it alone. But what do I know again? They do a great job of communicating with us on certain things. Other things, at times, bit of an issue, but... So there's the confirmation. Deimos Base will not be released for late November, December, whatever the case may be. We are not going to be getting Deimos Base this month, so yay! So he says. So it seems like, based on what he's saying here, they're going to rework the rewards. They're going to change some things around, right? However, it really just kind of comes down to the fact that it's just like anything in life. They can say whatever they want. It comes down to what they do. And until I see actual proof that this game mode is in a good state, I'm really not going to take a whole lot of what they say at face value. I'm just gonna wait and see on it. Again, though, it is very nice that they went ahead and did this video, and this is pretty much the end right here. They're just doing the outro. But it is nice that they talk about the fact that the rewards are going to get changed. They don't really go into specifics, like I said earlier. Really, they just allude to the fact that they realize we have problems with those. They realize that the gameplay is not in a good place and that needs to be changed. And really, at the end of the day, the biggest thing is they understand that we all had issues with it and nobody was happy with it. So let's hope that this game mode gets fixed, because it is a game mode that has a lot of potential. It has a lot of potential, not just in the gameplay of it, but also in some of the rewards. I do still think that they could do well for themselves and the rest of everybody involved if maybe they cut it down to 30 floors. However, it really just kind of comes down to, again, what the rewards are. If the rewards are just that much better, then those extra 20 stages are fine. But it really just kind of comes down to the rewards. So you guys can let me know in the comments section what you think. It does not sound like we are going to be getting a Deimos base for a little while. It sounds like there's a lot of internal discussions going on about Deimos base. And let's hope that, you know, hey, maybe they've watched my video or any of my peers' videos and kind of taken into consideration the different things that we've given them as far as critiques, criticisms, and advice, and maybe they can implement some of those things, because I do feel like the community does have a lot of good ideas. It's just that for a team that does say that they listen to us a lot, they don't seem to understand what we want a lot of the time from things either, or at least they decide not to go that direction at the end of the day when they make the decision for these types of things. So hopefully this is not one of those instances, and they definitely realize what we want. We want an EX generic memory somewhere, anywhere in this game. But at the end of the day, though, I do think that this is at least a positive thing. Please do not blame Ralph or Keke or anybody else involved here. At least they're trying, but they didn't have to do this video, like I said. So anyway, you guys, I appreciate all of you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of all of this. Like, share, and subscribe on your way out, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Peace.
Continue.